Peace, love, wholeness, divine love chosen. Welcome back to the channel. If you're seeing this, that means this message is for you. So go ahead and receive it as it resonates. If it don't, just let it fly and keep it pushing, y'all. We're going to get right into a message, see what the ancestors need to illuminate at this time for y'all. Gratitude. I hope y'all are doing well and taking care of yourselves, doing the best you can for you and yours in the here and now. Right, and this is what we were just talking about in the last message. Self-esteem. Truth. And desire. Perseverance and trust, right? At the bottom of the deck, and when I split the deck, we got perseverance at the bottom of the deck, trust when I split the deck. So this is kind of like where I left off in the last message as well. It's like there could be people in your energy who have withheld reciprocity from you because you illuminate truths that they were not ready to accept within themselves, right? And so they've had to maintain a mask or fight for their ego or fight for some sort of control or fight to try to remain in control, or feeling really low about themselves because they couldn't align with the truth that you illuminate. Maybe it could be about their desires, etc., or allowing their desires to take over their reality instead of having that divine balance and understanding. Also, it could have also been a thing where, because you dream so big, because you are so self-assured and rooted in your inner wisdom and rooted in alignment with Mother Nature and understanding the depths of Mother Nature and the truths, asking deeper questions, you have this great level of self-esteem, right? Has nothing to do with what you put on, has nothing to do with when you do get to spoil yourself and put that shit on, okay? It has nothing to do with that. It's internal, right? The external that you do get to embrace as well is just the cherry on top, okay? But you have this great resilience and self-esteem about you, and perseverance and trust in your sacred wisdom and trust in the divine and Mother Nature and your ancestors, that people who weren't feeling those things have tried to diminish that within you, whether it was intentional, whether it wasn't, whether it was subconscious or consciously. Because society has everybody programmed to competing with everybody, competing with the next person, competing with this person, that person, trying to compete with their life and trying to compete with their anointing, and just in so much competition with one another that you trigger the traumas within them, right? You definitely see the truths. You definitely see the and you have the confidence to address the truth. But it starts off simple. Simple disrespect as simple as, somebody lying to you because they are committed to lying to themselves. And so you don't take it personal because you understand that deeper meaning. Them lying to you don't got nothing to do with you. Them being in that resistant, all-fast energy don't got nothing to do with you. And that's why even a narcissist or even a toxic person, that you align with coming into your life, whether it's family, friend, or lover, even their denial and their commitment to trying to diminish you, or their commitment to trying to confuse you, or their commitment to trying to throw you off because they're thrown off and suppressing it, it don't move you. It don't drain you. Yeah, you can grieve and go through the motion and go through your ugly phases, but best believe you're going to always set those boundaries and stand up for yourself and get back to glowing and thriving because of yourself, because of your boundaries, because of your honesty, because you are rooted in alignment with Mother Nature and the Most High, with God, with love. Those who are rooted in egomania, deception, falsities, performative energy, lying, they're going to be at war with themselves. Trying to bring you to war. Trying to get you involved and engaged and disrupted. And dysregulated. Ain't nobody perfect. Everybody want to talk about, regulating your emotions. Okay. But ain't nobody perfect. Regulating your emotions is about embracing every emotion that you experience and that you go through and that you feel with a balance. Allowing yourself to feel those things with rationality. Having that balance between your internal and your external. Remaining rooted in love. You don't gotta have the healthiest lifestyle, the most hyper ascended lifestyle in order to be regulated. These illusions of hierarchy that folks is projecting. But somebody could have been in this energy so controlled by the egomaniacs that, whenever they were stressed out, they would try to initiate taking it out on you and suppressing it. And then when you mirror it back to them, they'll feel some type of way, or they'll feel guilty, or they'll feel the shame and the guilt for why they was even projecting that energy towards you in the first place, hoping that you didn't even recognize it or pick it up. But then when you illuminate the truth, they'll run back to denial, right? Denying themselves, defending themselves, denying what it really is and what it really ain't. Lack of accountability. To try to confuse your intuition and then put all of that emotional weight on you And this is what happens in a lot of toxic relationships, family, friend, or love relationships, karmic relationships, when the empath is taking on the emotions, the true emotions of the people that they love, while the people that they love suppress those things. So when the empath is revealing and showing these emotions and revealing and embracing what it really is and embracing the truth, honoring the truth, be it good or bad, now they want to point the finger at the empath as if the empath is the emotionally unstable, dysregulated, resentful and hateful and evil one. Ain't that insane? That's crazy. That's ass backwards as fuck. Because they want to avoid doing the work, the internal work for themselves. Or they don't want to value your word. They don't want to value the gift in your presence. They don't want to value the gift in your word. The healing, the truth, the wisdom, the knowledge. Gratitude. We got the moon card. We got the Six of Wands and the Five of Cups in reverse. Right. Because people with too much pride to be honest with themselves and to be honest with others, in this unappreciative energy, there could be somebody, right, who thought that they was hidden, right? And this is why you are in this energy of choosing peace. You are in this energy of honoring your peace and calling your energy back to you and valuing yourself, especially towards those who do not appreciate you. And when it comes to your divine love chosen and your sacred purpose and being on this mission, in the external world as well, like I said in my last message, you have that true freedom, that balance, that understanding of the internal and external. Not playing along towards the propagandas for any egotistical goal of outcome. You have a divine purpose here. And so you're not going to allow that energy to stay present in your energy for too long. And it's deeply disheartening and sad when somebody that you love is committed to that energy. It's deeply disheartening and sad when you as the empath have to take that on because they're in denial and they are unable to see through the illusions and see clearly. They are very able, and may they heal, but as far as you're concerned, divine love chosen, and your ancestors are concerned, you're not going to take that on a personal level. When they can meet themselves as deep as you've met yourself, then that'll be a different story. And so somebody could have been in this energy where they thought they weren't seen, right? They could have wanted you to, like wanted to be in this like controlling energy, or I gotta punish her type of energy, to try to really diminish your worth. But what really happened is it only diminished themselves. They can't, and that's why they experiencing these burdens, these Ten of Wands burdens through their journey, because they move in that energy of denial, ungratefulness, being unappreciative of people in their life, only seeing themselves. Divine feminine energies, you do not owe love and grace and care to somebody who is ungrateful and unappreciative. Or people who are deceptive, trying to diminish and hurt your intuition. Deceptive, in denial. You do not owe them that. That is earned. Those sacred gifts from divine feminine energy is earned through genuine love. And the great thing about divine feminine is when we are receiving from a genuine space, and we are receiving from a safe space, we naturally, instinctively want to care for those around us. But when we're guarded, when we have to protect ourselves and protect our hearts and protect, and be the provider and protect, our peace and what we've worked and struggled and survived through to cultivate in our in our own reality, when we have to be in that masculine energy, we're closed off. We don't naturally want to care for any motherfucking body. Okay, on that type of timing, I should say. Okay. And you shouldn't have to. Especially for my wounded divine feminines who have been healing from past trauma. Always making so much space for everybody else and the bullshit and the trauma that they done been through, while they take advantage or bypass what the fuck it is you done been through and how much you've struggled and how much you've survived through. They're so busy competing and comparing their life with you, and on a scale, if to really scale it, if you really want to scale it, 9 times out of 10, those people who lack that empathy and those people that you've aligned with that do those woe was me type of exhausting you to your limits and type of the deceptive ass energy, those people who do that and then expect you to still give an arm and a leg for them, 9 times out of 10, you've been through worse than they have. You survived through worse than they have. But you don't even take on that energy that they project towards you, because you have a deeper understanding that everybody knows suffering. When one person is in full acceptance of their suffering and what they done been through and the experiences that they've experienced, and another person is in denial of their suffering and their pain and their grievances and their traumas and what they done been through and experienced, trying to protect their abusers. The empath, even if the empath has been through worse, ends up carrying all of that. The weight of their own trauma, and then the weight of the person who's in denial of theirs. When the whole time instead of the empath being the strength for everybody else, right? Emotional strength, physical strength. Instead of the empath being the strength for everybody else, the empath needs a shoulder to cry on. The empath needs somebody strong enough to hold their own traumas in an honest, authentic way. The empath and the healer needs that space as well, needs that safe space as well. The empath has been so busy creating a safe space for everybody else naturally. But when it's time for the empath to feel, to grieve, it becomes too much for those in denial, for those unappreciative, for those ungrateful beings. They think that they think because the empath has cultivated a beautiful life and a beautiful reality, the healer, right, the safe space, they feel like, oh, they're undeserving. They don't need more. They don't need more safety. They don't need more weight off their shoulders. Because if they have more, then I'll have less and I'll have a little. That's not a genuine foundation. Yeah, with the Seven of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That's not a genuine foundation. But people gotta learn their own lessons for real. On some real. Without you taking on the burden of the lessons that they avoid. The emotional pain and trauma that they avoid, while also processing your own emotional pain and trauma. No, so learn your lesson. Get your lesson. Because the ungrateful is going to be ungrateful no matter what they receive. And the false people, the false caretakers, the false empaths, the false givers, they're going to try to use that as a controlling tactic or standpoint. When it don't make a difference, no way. Because like I said in one of my past readings, Divine feminine being in her ego, you're not going to you're not going to win whatever ego battle you think you're winning or playing. You're not going to get nowhere. With the egomaniatrics, you're not going to get nowhere on that type of timing. Because the divine feminine is going to set her boundaries, maintain her boundaries. The divine feminine is going to be in the energy of providing for themselves, taking care of themselves, allowing you to do the bare minimum. Because the real the thing about the real divine love chosen, we only value genuine love, genuine reciprocity. We don't give a fuck about tit for tat or what's done, or the illusions of price tags, and the illusions of name brands, and the illusions of all this other fuck ass bullshit, or how much you could spend or how much you could do. We don't value that. We value genuine intention and genuine love. Now, some of us may have balanced energy coming from karmic past. Yeah, we'll play the game, but don't ever think that you have control over a genuine divine love chosen being. Even if we give you a slight bit of control. Because we can be ain't shit fucked up as individuals, but we choose not to. Because we value genuine love. We don't even want it if it ain't genuinely intended. To receive our karma, to alchemize into our dharma, we may accept it for what it is. But you're going to be holding a double-edged sword, trying to hold it up to a divine feminine being. Trying to jab and diminish and stab and slice up a divine feminine being. You're going to be like I said, holding a double-edged sword, wounding yourself. That's why a divine feminine being is going to resort back to protective mode. Because we can feel when the energy is genuine, and we can feel when the energy is false, and we can feel when the energy is performative, and we can feel when the energy is rooted in egomania. Because we honor and value our emotions, being in alignment with Mother Nature. But the egomaniatrics, men and women, they're not going to value that, because their goals is of the external world. They're stuck in the paradigm of the illusions of the external world. They're not here for the greater purpose of Mother Nature. Those who do not value being emotionally in tune. Got the High Priestess, gratitude. Exactly. Preserving your energy, setting your boundaries to preserve your energy. You're not giving yourself away. When you're forced into that energy, when you're forced into your masculine energy, the egomaniatrics ain't never gonna win. They so focused on winning and losing, first and last, being the best of the best, and all the egomaniatric bullshit. As a divine love chosen high priestess being of survival, a wild woman, yeah, your boundaries is going to, your truth and your boundaries is going to make people feel some type of way. They can't have their way with you. They can't do whatever they want with you. They can't dangle no egomaniac bullshit over your face and make you conform to no bullshit. You're going to cut access off. You're going to protect your peace. You're going to protect your boundaries. You're going to protect your body. Your ancestors is going to continue to protect you and preserve your energy until they can come correct and act like they got some motherfucking sense. Gratitude. And that's the thing about the wild woman, the wounded divine feminine. They try to play on your empathy. They try to play on your gifts. They try to play on your connection with the waters. They try to play on your gifts. They try to play on your energy. They try to disrespect you. They try to have you even more wounded than you already done been through. Thinking that they can have some sort of control over your life. And they can't. Not with no egomaniac, ill, wicked intentions. They tried to have you feeling like you was left out. They tried to block out your intuition. So when you had to protect yourself and block them from trying to control your life or exile you or thinking that they had some sort of win or control over your life, when you had to block them out, then they felt how that felt. They felt how it felt. You too sensitive, right? You too emotional, right? You too sensitive and you too emotional. But no, those are your superpowers. Don't let these people fool you. Let them go be with people who's gonna harden their heart. Let them go be with people who's gonna harden them even more than they try to harden you. You too sweet, you too sensitive, you too emotional, right? And then they're going to be in their feelings about taking advantage of that sweetness of life. Tasting a whole bunch of bitterness that they try to bury. Trying to exile you. Trying to make you feel some type of way about yourself. But again, you are protected, Empress. You are protected. Divine judgment is balancing them scales out. Divine judgment is balancing them scales out. Period. You are preserved for your purpose. If they thought that they was doing something, they thought wrong. If they thought that they was breaking you, putting you through it, taking you through there, with ill will and ill intentions, that hatred, them hateful frequencies, they thought wrong. Because you have patience. You have patience, divine love chosen. You have deeper understanding. You are rooted in love. Gratitude. Spirit wants me to reiterate, like I said earlier, there's a difference between being angry and being able to explain in detail why you are angry, what happened, what you're experiencing, and what you're going through. That's righteous anger. That's honorable anger. And then there's a difference between being angry and being more harmful just because you're irrational with your anger, because you're dysregulated, because you have intentions to hurt people, so you're deceptive, you're in denial, and you're just running around hurting people, moving with the intentions to hurt people because of how dysregulated, unhappy, and angry you are. There's a clear difference. When you're angry and you're able to express that and release it and alchemize that anger, getting back to your peace. And you are preserved. They want you to feel some type of way about healing from your karmic past and the anger that they bred you in. But again, you are in this Nine of Pentacles. And those that are for you, genuinely, will not be intimidated by that. Those that are for you genuinely will be glad and happy and genuinely at that to invest in you and invest in themselves. Those that are genuinely for you will see your Nine of Pentacles and be like, she deserves more, not she deserves less. Because an investment in you, genuinely, from a genuine space, is an investment with themselves. Gratitude. I hope that helps, hope it resonates. If it do, be sure to like the video, comment, and subscribe. If you need to find me anywhere, everything is in my description. Fulfill the prophecy and follow me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.